All right, guys, welcome. This is Onside with me, Joshua Holotu of Inshira FM and Love FM here in Kumasi. And today, I'm going to be giving you my last part for my three-part breakdown, which I dubbed How to Win at the World Cup. The World Cup is 3 days away, and I know you're excited. I'm equally excited. Anytime the World Cup comes around, it's full of joy and excitement. The teams that are going to be playing, the football, and the euphoria. It's amazing. But Ghana Black Stars have to put up a performance in this World Cup. For so long a time, winning has not been synonymous with us. Yes, we went through the qualifying round, we did so well, but when the global stage presents itself, it looks like we haven't really done so well. In the two previous editions, Ghana has exited the tournament at the group stages, and it hasn't really all get well for us. But this time around, I know for sure that the Black Stars really want to move from the group stages, play in the round of 32, and possibly the round of 16. And if they could go further, that's okay. But we want to see the Black Stars put up a very good performance at this World Cup. For which reason, I want to break down this particular performance that we put up in 2010 against the United States of America in the round of 16. Now, one may be asking, why did I choose this game? The only memory that so many Ghanaians have of the Black Stars performing so well at the tournament is when we played this game in South Africa against USA in the round of 16. We could go as far back as 2006, but that's 20 years ago. And so many people don't really remember. In fact, when Ghana played their second group game in 2006 in Germany against Czech Republic, I remember that game so well because that was the day that I first spoke on radio. I'm going to get some time and tell that story into detail. But we played a Czech Republican team that was ranked second in the whole world prior to that tournament. So the expectation was that we perhaps wouldn't have won that game because we had already lost the first game against Italy. Right? So coming into that second game against Czech Republic, I don't think expectations were so high. But we saw how the Black Stars performed. Asamoah scored an early goal. And we dominated that game and we beat the Czech Republican team that was made up of players like Milan Baros, Tomas Rosicky, right? Pavel Nedved. All the big names were there. Peter Cech, he had won best goalkeeper in England before coming into that tournament. So Czech Republic were a good team. But this game represents one of the only memories that we have that the Black Stars won a game and gave everybody in the country joy and excitement. So we're going to go into it. Now, on that day, this was what the FIFA website presented as our lineup. So just before the game begins, you'd normally see that the FIFA production room are going to present the lineups and also the tactical formations on the screen. This was what was presented for the Ghana Black Stars, but later they admitted that they had made an error. I'm going to show you where the error was. So you can see Richard Kingston in post, right? Then we have John Paintsell, we have Jonathan Mensah, and we have John Mensah. They were in defense. Then we have Samuel Nkum, Anthony Annan, Kevin Prince Boateng, Hans Elusape, Kojo Asamoah Asamajan, and Andrea Yu. This was what was presented. But I'm going to show you where the error was. In the real tactical setup that the Ghana Black Stars used on that day, Samuel Nkum was not supposed to be at the right back position. So this display demonstrates Ghana playing a 5-back. It wasn't that way. So John Paintsell rather played the right back, John Mensah as right centre back, Jonathan Mensah as left centre back, and Hans Elusape as left back. That was what happened on that day. So it was a 4-man defense. Then in midfield, we had Samuel Nkum playing more or less on the right side of the flanks. Let me put it that way. He played on the right side of the flanks. Then we had Andrea Yu playing on the left side of the flanks. And we had Anthony Annan and Kevin Prince Boateng in the middle of the pitch. Then we had Kojo Asamoah playing right behind Asamoah. So that was how it was. Not this setup that the FIFA website had put across or the FIFA production room had put across on that day. So that was the setup that the Black Stars used in that game. And these are the guys that did the job on that day. And there's one thing that's so amazing about this team, right? Because right from the group stages into the round of 16 where they had reached at the point, you could realize that there were a couple of changes. Prince Tego had played in the group stages, but by the time we got to the round of 16, the tactical setup for Milovan Rajevac, who was the coach at the time, had changed, right? So he dropped Prince Tego and rather went with this approach where he had Kojo Asamoah playing right behind Asamoah. So when the game started, Ghana's game plan was quite clear. Whatever happened in the build-up, one thing that the team needed to keep in their mind was that Asamoah Gyan was a target man. So get the ball to Asamoah Gyan and help Asamoah Gyan to be able to see how he can break the ball down, draw markers onto him, and then free some space so that Kojo Asamoah could also run inside and get the ball and probably shoot at goal. So that was the game plan. So you can see by the 3rd minute, that has started playing out. Because now the ball was lifted into Asamoah Gyan's area, and you could see the defenders of the United States of America picking him up in that area, which was very interesting because that was exactly how Ghana scored the winning goal in extra time, which I'll come to. So look at it carefully. Kojo Asamoah and Asamoah Gyan were doubling in that area, right? Playing right behind the defense of the USA team. And they tried so much to be able to utilize the spaces that they got to free more spaces and get players to come in behind and get some chances to create at goal. This was the goal, the early goal that Ghana got, right? Around the 4th minute. Kevin Prince-Boateng picked up the ball right from the middle. And look at the posture of Kevin Prince-Boateng, because at this point, he could have gone 2 ways. He could have decided to go for Asamoah Gyan because Asamoah Gyan was right above him, running into the outer area of the box. But he decided to go a different direction. We all know that Kevin Prince-Boateng is a right-footed player. But in this particular instance, he decided to turn the ball to his left. And that particular posture and turn confused the defense of the United States players. So at this point, they really knew that Asamoah Gyan was going to receive the ball from Kevin Prince-Boateng. But Kevin Prince-Boateng changes his direction and confuses the defense. And that's how he manages to bring the ball down and shoot with his left and goal. Ghana take the lead. Now, I like this image because when Ghana took the lead, assistant coach Kwesi Appiah took that opportunity to join the celebration and give instructions to some of the players. Now, you can see him here talking to Kojo Asamoah. So this is the celebration. The Black Stars had scored. Ghana was up by 1-0, and in fact, the whole country had gone hysteria because we never expected that first goal to go through. And look at the manner in which Kevin Prince-Boateng just took the ball to his left and hit it home. It was a splendid goal. It threw the whole country into excitement. But look at Kwesi Appiah talking to Kojo Asamoah, giving him the instructions that he needed. And at this point, you could tell that Kojo Asamoah was also listening keenly. But the fact that Kwesi Appiah joined the celebrations to do this is what I'm so happy about. And I think I got a hint of what he might have told Kojo Asamoah. If you look closely, Kojo Asamoah was playing right behind Asamoah Gyan. But in certain instances of the game, both of them were clashing for the ball in one space. One wasn't freeing the other. Asamoah Gyan was the leading marksman, so you would have to throw him forward and play right behind him. But Kojo Asamoah, in his position, needed to also find a way to interplay with Asamoah Gyan, so that in times where Asamoah Gyan is deep, then Kojo Asamoah would be able to go in his place and also try and receive the ball and shoot. So by the 36th minute, there was a chance where Asamoah Gyan flicks the ball into space for Kojo Asamoah, who is now deciding to run, and he goes straight to shoot the ball at goal. So that was one great way that I realized that Kojo Asamoah was being deployed in the game. And don't forget that the partnership between Kojo Asamoah and Asamoah Gyan had gone back a few months before. Those who remember the 2010 AFCON, the One Goal Project, when we beat Angola in that quarterfinal, it was a Kojo Asamoah Gyan assist. Kojo Asamoah had come back deep to pick the ball from the defense, and when he spotted the run of Asamoah Gyan in the area of the Angolans, he just lobbed the ball to him, and that was it. Ghana got the first goal. Then in the next game, in the semi-final against Nigeria, the same thing happened, right? That was a corner kick. Kojo Asamoah took the corner, and Asamoah Gyan headed home. So that partnership had always been there. So it looked like it made much sense to do the same in this game, where the two players who are very, very familiar with each other were going at it, right? One steps in, the other comes to cover up, and they did that through the entire period of the game. So 36 minutes, this actually brought out a good performance from Tim Howard, who was in goal on that day for the USA team. He saved this ball, and prevented the ball from going in. Wow. Now, this is where I want to talk about briefly, because in this World Cup that we are going to play, there are so many rules that have come up. And when I do my World Cup preview tomorrow, I'm going to talk about a few of them. But in the game against USA, when Ghana went 1 goal up, we found it very difficult to get a second goal to seal the game. So the USA team came back in strongly. And by the 60th minute, there was a tackle by Jonathan Mensah in the box, which the referee saw and said it was a penalty. Then Jonathan Mensah gets a second yellow card that is in the tournament, and he gets suspended. He wouldn't play in the next game against Uruguay. These are things that the Black Stars would want to avoid, because when you have players like Kwesi Sibo, Thomas Partey, Elisha Owusu, who in the past have accumulated cards when they are playing because they need to make certain tackles in the game, it means that by the time the group stage is over, some of them might have accumulated cards. And I'm not even saying it's just these 3 players, right? There are so many other players on the field of play who could accumulate cards. And it goes against the Black Stars, because for those who remember, in 2006, when Ghana played Brazil, Mike Leeson didn't play that game because he had received 2 yellow cards prior. He received his first yellow card against Czech Republic, so he couldn't play in that game against Brazil in the round of 16. His second yellow card came in the game against USA. That was in 2006. So at this point, the USA team equalized through a Landon Donovan penalty. And interestingly, Bill Clinton was at the stadium on that day. He had flown in because he was part of a delegation that was trying to lobby for the USA to host the 2014 and 2018 FIFA World Cups. So he was in South Africa during that time. He came to the stadium to motivate the team. So he was in the stadium on that day. And I mean, I can see that he was really happy when the goal went in. It was 1-1. But yes, this was the scoreline by the 62nd minute. And the game became very cagey, because where were the goals going to come from? Ghana had scored 1, USA had scored 1. The game was in the balance. And yes, the game went into extra time, but it took a lot of effort, right, to push the Black Stars into the game again. By the 77th minute, Stephen Appiah had come on, the veteran, and Kevin Prince Boateng had gone off. He had an injury. So yes, Ghana had experience on the pitch. 50-50 possession describes what I'm telling you. That game was really cagey at this point. It was end-to-end action. The USA team had now come into the game because they realized that they were going to get a goal again after equalizing, which a lot of them were now playing key passes, wondering how they could fancy their chance against the Black Stars and then get a goal. And this is the main one that I'm talking about. By the 91st minute, at this point, the game was over. But Andre Ayew also gets a yellow card after he fouled Josie Altido. And he also misses the next match. Just like I've said, any player who gets a yellow card, that is the second in the tournament, it then jeopardizes the chances of the team moving forward. So many people have said that if Andre Ayew had played that game against Uruguay, possibly we would have gotten a different result. But that is what happens when you have to play and kill yourself and win a game. In that game against USA, Andre Ayew had done so well. He had played flamboyant football in that game. But this second yellow card that he received meant that he was going to miss the match against Uruguay. Game had gone into extra time and it was still deadlocked at 1-1. And then we saw the very famous goal that Asamoah Gyan scored on that day, which he's still being celebrated for. Andre Ayew had gotten the ball in his own half and he just simply lobbed the ball into the space. And this was what I spoke to you earlier in the video about. Asamoah Gyan was a leading marksman. So all he needed to do was to just chase the ball. 2 defenders tracking him down here in the area of the United States. But look at what he does. He tries as much as possible to follow the ball. And in following the ball, he even loses his balance, but still keeps up and then slots the ball home. Tim Howard found it difficult to save this ball. Ghana wins 2-1. Asamoah Gyan goes to the byline to do his dance. And that was how Ghana won this game at the World Cup. And you could see the emotions on the day, how emotional he was. But let's also talk about Sulley Muntari, because in this game, he came from the bench to come and play. And in the game against Uruguay, he replaced Andre Ayew on the flanks. And we saw the goal he scored. But yes, he also became a very key member. But don't forget that in that tournament, he actually had a spat with Milovan. Milovan almost took him out of the team, but for the intervention of some of the technical team members, he wouldn't have come back into the team. But he came and he did so well, both in that remaining game, the remaining time for the game against USA, and also in the game against Uruguay where he scored that goal. Look at all the legends who were sitting on the bench on that day. And Ghana really got that win that was super, super, super important for the team to qualify for the quarterfinal. Now, for most of us, this game was that defining moment that got the Black Stars to be at the world stage. People remember the Black Stars so well because of this game that they played in 2010. And it still lives on the minds of people. So many people, when you talk about the Black Stars at the World Cup, this is the game that comes into their mind. And it's for a specific reason. How we managed to carry ourselves resiliently and win that game in extra time. And it's something that still helps us to remember the Black Stars in so many ways, which I think is something that we really need to replicate at this tournament in 2026. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. People like Thomas Partey, players like Thomas Partey are going to be super, super important for the Black Stars. I am not surprised that he has been subjected to a certain attack where the English media are pushing the agenda that the English players shouldn't shake his hand when Ghana meets England on June 27th. I really don't know what exactly they are trying to do, but to me, it looks like a plan to destabilize the young man, which could be very devastating. Because if they manage to get into his head and into the heads of the players and even read the pundits, it gives us the opportunity to also come at them and make discussions in the media that really wouldn't help us. But we need Thomas Partey to be in the team to have full focus for the games that we are going to play at the World Cup, because he's a very integral member of the team. So he will need to step up. Very, very important. Same as these two young men. Our new number 10, Brandon Thomas Asante, hasn't really had so many games in the Black Stars. He has scored one goal already for the Black Stars. And you look at him, he looks like a very good attacker. But can he give us what we need at this World Cup? Where the goals are dry and it's difficult to get a goal, can we trust him to come in to score? Same as Antoine Semenyo. Semenyo has been, or should I say, is currently the leading marksman for the Black Stars. The branding of the Black Stars, in one way or the other, has come to rest on his shoulders. In most interviews, you'd see him represent the Black Stars. 4 years ago, he was part of the team that went into that World Cup in Qatar. Yes, his performance was not on top, but 4 years down the line, we've seen how his trajectory has changed. At club level, he moved from Bournemouth to Manchester City. And people are crying, especially Ghanaians, that we want to see that same performance that he keeps at the club level in the Black Stars as well. Can he give us those performances? We really pray and hope that he can do that. But Antoine Semenyo is going to be a very key member of the team for the Black Stars. Same as Caleb Yirenchi. Caleb Yirenchi, young guy, so talented, so versatile. He scored a goal against Wales. And before that, we all knew that talent-wise, this guy was good. A right to dream graduate who's now playing for Nordsjælland. You can tell that he has everything in him to put up a good performance for the Black Stars at the World Cup. But in the tight moments of the game, can he come through for us? He has an electrifying pace that when he sets his eyes on goal, he doesn't give up. He goes straight into it. And I love the way he plays. But can he give us that win that the Black Stars need? Can he give us those goals or those performances that will help the Black Stars to win? And I end with these veterans. Stephen Appiah, Michael Essien. In the previous World Cups, they did their part. They played their hearts out in 2006 and 2010. In 2010, Michael Essien couldn't play because he was injured. But Stephen Appiah, we saw him in 2010. We saw him in 2006. He was captain for the side in 2006. Very influential. And when you hear the stories that he tells about the mentality that he went into games with, how he tried to impart into the boys, how he managed to keep up with the nerves that came with playing at the global stage, but still managed to put up impressive performances, didn't disgrace the country when they played in 2006 and in 2010. It makes me very happy. And if we could only turn back the hands of time to bring players of their exact caliber into the team now, believe you me, that we'll be so happy going into this World Cup, telling ourselves that we don't have so much to worry about. But with the current team, there's a lot of room for improvement. They have a lot to do. But can they do it? Can they do it? That's the question. So Ghana is currently 74th in the FIFA rankings, the latest one that was done. Like I said, winning has not been synonymous with us. We've only drawn the game against Wales. We've lost to Mexico. We've lost to Germany. We've lost to Austria. And we've lost to South Africa. This is the performance of the Black Stars in the last 5 games. One is not happy about this record going into a high stakes World Cup like what we have coming up in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. But just as I have initially said in my previous videos, a chaotic preparation means anything could happen. Carlos Queiroz, who is currently the coach, hasn't had so much games to really assess his team going into that first game against Panama. But anything can happen. With this in mind, the Black Stars players need to keep their mental focus, at 100%, so that the performance that they're going to put up on the day would not be because of a lack of preparation, but will be because of the goal that they have set before themselves. And I really have this feeling that we could see a shock, right? We could get a surprise where, although we don't have a very good record going into the World Cup, we are going to see the Black Stars put up performances that is going to give everybody something to be happy about. So 17th June at 11 p.m., Ghana versus Panama. And I have said repeatedly that this is a must-win for the Black Stars. You cannot go into a group with Panama, England, and Croatia and lose against Panama in that first game. You need to win. And you need to win emphatically. But I've said that Panama is a tricky opponent because they have very, very good goal scoring ability. They are going to get one goal. So it means the Black Stars need to come in with a mindset of scoring more than one goal. And I think that Ghana could surprise everybody at this World Cup. And this is what it means to win at the World Cup. Tomorrow, I'll be bringing you my official FIFA World Cup 2026 preview as the tournament starts on Thursday, where we're going to see the first game between Mexico and South Africa at the Estadio Azteca. Until I come your way again, subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Anytime I drop a video, you're going to be the first person to receive it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following me. This has been Onside with me, Joshua Holotu. See you in the next one.